We have a lot of traditions here at the MedStar Institute for Innovation, Innovations and Thinking Differently Forum. And one of them is to start, have a 45-minute chunk at 8:15 of time we're calling Brain Tai Chi. Get you all warmed up. It's a little bit looser. We have a very, very special treat, as you'll see in about 15 or 20 minutes. But this segment of the program has been really conceived and run by Taylor Jessinger, person to my right. And Taylor, you want to just say what the first thing going on is? Yeah. I think we're gonna actually start with, for continuity's sake, something that we have actually shown once before at one of our forums. That was a big hit.
Okay. Could you cue the presentation? So we're going to start with with actually a video. Could you go to slide 3, please? Thank you. Okay. So I thought this was a pretty cool quote to start with, and this has been actually a forum tradition, and I actually wanted to show this video. Well, we've shown this video 2 forums ago. I'll show the video first, and then I'll tell you why I'm showing it again.
I've got this little example of a sort of optical illusion here. So if you photograph it in the right way, as you're about to see, the eye plays extraordinary tricks on you. So there it is Einstein. There he is in profile. Wow. And there's the inverted bit, but hello, your eye tells you that's poking outwards, and yet it isn't. That's the inside bit. And your eye refuses to believe it until you get to that.
That's great. Oh, you're twisting my melon, man.
Isn't that extraordinary?
Why does it do that?
Well, it does that because your brain is programmed to recognize human faces. And it's one of the first things babies do is look at faces. And you expect to see a face. And even though you know it isn't a real face, your brain fills in the...
I did it again.
It's an astonishing illusion.
Does Stephen, does it only work with Einstein? Would it work with another man?
It would work with any human being. It is really creepy. It's amazing, isn't it?
But it's done it. I can't believe it did the same trick twice.
I know, the point is...
So listen, we're not going to fall for it this time.
And yes...
Okay. No way. Not 3 times on the run.
Outside. This is going to be inside, Lee.
Inside.
Inside.
It's so clever, isn't it?
He's so clever.
It is literally, we literally filmed this. I mean, you can see, that's all it is.
This is a great trick. I might cut my head in half and scoop out my brain.
It's a wonderful thing. It would make the most wonderful blancmange or something, wouldn't it?
Are we going to bother with the rest of the show? Because I could happily just... I mean, it's lovely chatting and everything, and I love what we do, but let's just...
You're hypnotised.
Have you got any others apart from Einstein?
No, I tell you what we can do. We can make the Queen happy or sad. Oh. We've got a £5 note. You can do this with your own £5 notes, but we'll give you the demonstration.
OK.
There it is. You do a little fold.
So actually, that's become a kind of a MI2 favorite video, and I actually tracked down the actual Einstein head all the way from Britain, and I have it right here. And before I turn it on, I just want to say I actually wanted to show it at the last forum, and there I did rush shipping trying to get, and it came 1 day after the forum. So I have it for this forum, and I'm going to try my best to show this to you with a Jerry Wade contraption that I've created. So, and we're going to put this in the lobby so that you can get the full effect. But it is pretty cool, and I hope you enjoy it. So I'm going to try to rotate this a little bit. Just bear with me, and let me know if you can see it all right. So I'm going to try. Do you see the effect? Is it working? It's a little bit, I think BBC had some better, had a better device to show this, but. And so our mind, as they said in the video, our mind is wired to see faces as a 3D structure, and hopefully, in the real world, we never have to see inverted faces, which would be absolutely terrifying and a scene from Hollywood. But that's why our mind processes this as a 3D face. So I just wanted to share this because I think it's pretty cool. And we also, this has become a symbol in our MI2 office. It's the first thing you see. And kind of funnily, or I'll make up words today. Dr. Smith, when he leaves the office every day, he actually turns the light off. So we kind of joke that if there was a sitcom, that would be the end of our TV show. And that means Einstein has now left the building. So the fun can be ended. So anyway, I just wanted to show that Einstein illusion. We'll put it up in the foyer for you to see and play with a little bit more. But we can go on to, so now we have the brain teasers. We're going to go through 3 of them, and the rest of the answers, I will post them on My 2 Cents, which is our MI2 MedStar social networking platform. So do we want to go through the rest? Okay. Johnny's mother had 3 children. The first child was named April. The second child was named May. What was the third child's name? If you know the answer, just shout it out. Yeah. So this one is actually one of my favorites because, of course, I fell for it the first time, and then the second time too, and then I finally remembered it, and now it's a favorite. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Question 2. It's raining at midnight. Will there be sunny weather in 72 hours? What's the answer? Right. It's midnight. So no. Right. No, because in 72 hours it'll be midnight again. And then the next question, so this is actually the Monty Hall problem. So generally, if you have 3 doors and you choose one door and the game show host opens another door and reveals a can of beans or a goat or something that's not the ultimate prize, should you switch your answer or your original choice and go with another door, or should you stay with your original choice? And human behavior, most people want to stay with your original choice, but actually you have a higher probability if you switch choices. Did I say that right?
You did perfectly. This is actually a very famous problem and Marilyn von Savant, who purportedly has one of the highest IQs, she actually got this wrong. And so the idea is that you pick the door that you think has the car, and before that door is opened, the game show host opens another door to show you the can of beans beside it. And should you switch your choice or not? We're not going to go through the mathematics of it, but it's worth trying to work out to see why you will do better if you move your choice to the other unopened door.
And it's a good thing to know in case you're ever on a game show. So. All right. And actually, we're going to go really quickly through the next thing. One thing I noticed is when I'm studying the art or memory, all the books I've read, memory is really the art of attention. That's one of the main components of it. So here's some common questions, but this one might be pretty easy, but if you were on that game show and this was the $1 million question, would you absolutely know it's correct? So what's the answer to this? What traffic light is on top? Red. Right. It is red. All right. Next slide. All right. So without looking and cheating, do you know what the number 6 is on your wristwatch? Is it a Roman numeral number 6 or an Arabic number 6? And I actually did this with Dr. Smith the other day, and he very smugly is like, oh, I know it's the Arabic number 6. And he looked at it, it was actually the Roman numeral number 6. So I thought this was a keeper. Okay, and next slide, please. And also, things we notice every day, like the FedEx logo. Do you know where the arrow is in the FedEx logo? So there's an arrow between the E and the X. Yeah. Another question is, when you clasp your hands, what thumb is on top? So this is something we do all the time, but most people don't realize what thumb is on top. And I haven't found any correlation between handedness so far, but I thought that was kind of a fun question. Next slide, please. And I think this will be our final question. So among these pennies, so pennies are something ordinary that everybody can recognize a penny. But actually when you put it to the test, so next slide, please. Do you know which penny is the actual penny? I'll give you a second to look at that. Do you want to guide people through this? So, how many people think they absolutely know which penny is the right penny?
How many people know which way Lincoln is facing? For starters. And the answer is?
Okay, and next slide.
No.
That's the right penny.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Why do we pay attention to certain things and not others? You would think it may be that we pay attention to those things, only those things that really make a difference. And so stuff we encounter every day that really doesn't matter, we sort of ignore. And I had that experience actually this morning as I'm driving over to the hotel, and I have a BlackBerry, an old BlackBerry torch, which with the plug for the micro USB on the side, and my battery was low, and I'm driving, and I want to put the power cord in. I always forget which side is the micro USB. It strikes me each time, why don't I remember that? But in fact, I don't. So it might be fun when as you go through your day, thinking about looking at those things that you encounter on a very daily basis, but could not reconstruct if asked because you ignore it.
Okay. And I think I want to give Holder enough time.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we're going to end this portion now and get ready for, we were just the warm-up band, so we're going to get ready for Helder Guimaraes. But before we, but actually just paying attention and focusing, it's not rocket science, but it's actually surprising that a lot of studies have shown if you just intensely focus on when you actually meet somebody, then you'll actually remember 80% more names and faces. So
We're going to be learning more about that later on in the program.